radio, no sir. Grab your rig, hit the trail, mindset on fire. Parks on the air, we're activating the wire. Summits on the air, climb high, scream CQ, portable power. No shack, just me and you. Experiment wild, break the old rules. Contesting pile-ups, we're owning the fools. No age limit here, it's a state of mind. Kids table rebels, leave the boring behind. Heavy signals, crashing down. CQ, own the town. Poda, soda, contest roar. Ham radio, kids table forevermore. Beat, boot, bang, waves in the fight. This is our revolution, turn it up tonight. Kids table, not your grandpa's ham radio, your future on the air. QRT out.
Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Wednesday. We are back here at the Ham Radio Kids Table, and it's and Jimmy says, "Oh yeah,
oh yeah."
Can we do that again? Oh, I need a clip.
Yeah.
All right, let's get that clip, guys. Get Jimmy all over.
By the way, Tim, you have other Tim in chat tonight. Radio Brotherhood, K0 SSD.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
Tim, welcome from way up north.
He found the channel. I won't say maybe a squirrel man sent it to him, but
well, hang on, watch out. All right, well, hey guys, we are back here, and yesterday, our friend Jimmy, PRK Radio, make sure you check out his YouTube channel. Dropped a video about something that was happening right here in my backyard. Didn't even know it. And it appears that the state of Indiana has written legislation to help protect ham radio operators in HOAs.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get Jimmy in here to talk a little bit more about that. And thought we would just have a conversation. I got Carlos here with us on the panel. Carlos also lives here in Indiana, homeowner. What? He said, what? Although this summer long, make sure to he'll probably be a temporary resident of the state of Illinois.
So, only for a weekend at a time. I can only take the People's Republic for a weekend.
There you go. And most of that you'll be in the clouds anyways, right?
Exactly.
There you go. But I did want to talk about this because I thought it was really interesting. Right now we've got the ARRL involved in a whole campaign about trying to get a national legislation with some form of a parity act with what was had already been done with TV antennas, satellite antennas, those kind of things. And we've just kind of been that redheaded stepchild, amateur radio community when it comes to antennas on our homes. And I noticed that Indiana has now done this. And then also, it looks like there's maybe one or two other states that have gotten some similar type legislation on their books. But that is a start, right? And that's, I think, a good way of getting in, and it'll probably be a patchwork. Carlos, we were talking off, and he had mentioned that there might be some difficulties with the Indiana law, and that's okay. So I think that some of the states will probably learn from each other, and they'll get it tightened up. So as that filters its way across the United States, and more states are doing it, I think maybe that helps bolster what the league is doing. So kind of where we're at tonight. So yeah, go ahead, Carlos.
So and I'll ask you, Tim, and Jimmy both.
Yeah.
I've lived in Indiana for only about a little bit over 20 years. Okay.
Carlos,
I
hate to interrupt for a second. Somebody heard their name and wanted to say hi. This is Big Tim, my brother.
How you doing, Big Tim?
Big Tim. Good to see you.
Big
Nice
Tim.
to meet you, dude.
Okay.
In 20 plus years of living in Indiana, I can only recall maybe 2, maybe 3, perhaps 4 times when a law was passed in Indiana that I was just like, oh my God, finally something that makes sense. So to me, this is a big deal, even if there's problems with the law that they passed.
Yep.
Okay, to me this is a big deal, and I hope that the rest of the amateurs in Indiana understand how big of a deal this is. So, Tim, Jimmy, how long in the time that you've lived in Indiana, how many times can you say that you've actually seen a law pass that actually made sense and mattered?
So I don't live in Indiana, but I was still excited about it because if Indiana's doing it, then they're kind of setting a precedent, right? That hopefully other states can look at and emulate. Again, regardless of if there's, this is not a perfect bill, right? I think you and I were talking about that. We were all talking about that before the show started. It's not a perfect bill. Maybe no bill is, but it's a step in the right direction, even if it's a small step. And that's the great thing. And like like Tim pointed out, like I'm sure they'll get this tightened up over time. There'll be some changes to it, in due time. But if nothing else, it gives other states like, hey, look what Indiana did. This can be done, and it can be done to benefit everyone, and to not completely strip away the ways, but maybe dial back their influence.
Yep, we lost him.
Uh-oh.
Like they're going to get an Instagram in the mail or whatever.
Jimmy, feed the AOL CDs into your computer. You need more internet.
Oh, is my internet choppy?
Yeah, you dropped out there. That's
Did
the
I
first-
really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's the only time. So it's
Let me feed the hamsters. Sorry about that.
that's right.
So Paul in the chat says it's not aware of what we're talking about for a bit. So to summarize, basically the state of Indiana has passed a law that restricts the powers of HOAs fairly well. And in part of that, and it's believe it or not, a small bill, 8 pages with the signature page. So that's significant. As part of that, they actually have a specific call out for amateur radio stations and antennas where they're not allowed to create any regulation that limits them. So now, theoretically, you could go buy a home in an HOA and set up your EME in your backyard, and the neighborhood Karen can't say a damn thing about it.
Yeah.
So that's significant.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, and it's needed. I mean, again, I do live in an HOA, but I live in Texas. I'm in the Austin area. You can't drive through a subdivision around here that doesn't have some form of an HOA imposing restrictions. And look, some restrictions are for good reasons. I know everyone's got opinions about HOA, but sometimes HOAs can be good to help maintain a certain look and feel in the neighborhood. But no one wants the guy down the street who's got 47 cars and all of them are in disrepair and they're all in the middle of the yard and stuff like that up on bricks. But they also restrict people like myself and others who want to take part in the hobby and can't, because we can't put up an antenna without running the risk of getting a nasty gram.
My mom lives in an HOA. She's not even allowed to choose the color of paint that she is allowed to put in her house.
Yeah, we are. We're not that
way.
restrictive, but I've heard
that is
some are that restrictive. Yeah.
Well, it's obnoxious.
It is.
And so I do not live in an HOA now. My first house was in an HOA neighborhood, and it got very obnoxious on the overregulation, the overburdening. And I agree with Jimmy. There are sometimes very valuable concepts, I guess, from making sure that we keep everybody's property up. So those 47 cars in the yard and things like that. But people walking around and pulling out tape measures to measure the height of your grass, or I've heard somebody was just talking about. It might have even been you, Jimmy. Somebody got a notice that their trash cans were out.
That was me.
And it was trash day.
Yep.
Yeah. From their HOA. So there's some people that
I have a good one for you.
Yes, sir.
So whether people know it or not, my dad was paralyzed by a drunk in 2015.
Yeah.
While he was in the hospital, my siblings and I got together. We got some money together so we could make the house wheelchair accessible, because it wasn't. Okay, single level home, but the doors weren't wide enough.
Yeah.
There were no ramps anywhere, and so on and so forth. Right. In order to park the mobility van that we bought for the old people in our family, um, and for the ramp to extend and have footing, we had to add 5 feet of concrete to the driveway in the width. That were all in their yard, my parents' yards. The HOA had the audacity to come out and say, well, we're not approving that. Well, guess what? The city already did. Well, it's not approved, so we're going to fine you. I'm like, good luck with that ADA lawsuit that we're going to file, because
Right.
so just the audacity that some of these HOAs have
Yeah.
is beyond the pale.
Yeah.
So
Some are definitely way too powerful for sure.
yeah,
definitely. Frank, you in an airplane there, buddy?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
No, I was adjusting something up here. No, I'm good.
Okay. No. I mean, it sounded like the rush of air there.
Rush of air.
And
he
an
wants to go
airplane.
skydiving is all. He's pretending he's by the door.
No. Carlos, you're not pulling me. Nope.
We'll
So,
drug you and they get you up in the plane.
So I put up on a screen here. This is the section 6, and that's the full context of the law there. It adds to the existing HOA regulations in the Indiana Code, and section 1 basically defines as far as antenna, support structure, tower, feed line, or other related equipment as used by amateur stations as defined by 47 CFR 97.3, which is part 97. Talks about governing documents that HOAs have. And it basically says that after June 30th, I think July 1st is when laws go into effect in the state of Indiana that have been passed. They can't adopt or enforce any new regulations. And here's where it kind of gets a little dicey. My understanding, and I think Carlos, you said you spoke with somebody with a legal background today.
Spoke to a lawyer today, yes, in reference to this.
Practices law here in the state of Indiana. And so keep in mind, everything we mentioned here, none of us are attorneys. And so don't take anything that we say as other than commentary and is not legal advice.
That's it.
That was what I was going to say. None of us are attorneys, and this is not legal advice. Talk to a real lawyer.
Yep.
Yep. But we do play one on TV every once in a while.
So I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express once.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I played Dr. Drake Ramori on TV. I don't know about y'all.
All right, Joey.
All right. But so the understanding is if they homeowners association, if they do not modify any of their governing documents after July 30th, or I'm sorry, June 30th, that any regulations that might be in effect governing or regarding amateur radio equipment are still in effect. It's once they modify those governing documents that then the potential, and I'm just going to use the word potential, that this would come into effect in that specific relationship between you and that homeowner, or the homeowner and the homeowners association. So that's kind of the caveat to it. But I also wonder how many homeowners associations actually have specific provisions versus just the assumption that they can get away with it because it's not spelled out in the other legislation as far as the antennas and everything.
I'll tell you that the answer to that is,
and I'm thinking specifically the law in the mid 90s that was signed in by Bill Clinton that did it nationally. So yeah, go ahead, Carlos.
So the chances of this, that the provision is there, is very good, because most of these things work off of a boilerplate template, and that boilerplate was created, eons ago, and they just, modify it slightly to fit the needs of a specific HOA.
Yeah.
So the chances are really good that there's a provision there for it. Doesn't mean there is, just saying that it's a good provision possibility. Um, but as amateurs, then it's on us to challenge that, right? If we live in an HOA in Indiana, to challenge that. And now understand that this is gonna, if you live in an HOA and you're in Indiana, you're gonna have to pay a lawyer to challenge this on your behalf. You're not gonna get away without paying somebody some bucks to get your antenna up. Well, you could, and then they could go, "Hey, you're not in my backyard, Sonny," right? But if you have to defend it, you're probably going to have to hire a lawyer to defend it for you, because most of the agreements for HOAs are set up for arbitration outside of court, and spell out the cost and legal fees that are associated with it are assumed by whomever loses the argument. So you have to be prepared for the possibility that you have a big paycheck to pay.
So there's two things here. Rail Dude wants to know, Carlos, what happened with the HOA?
As soon as they received a letter from our lawyer saying, "We understand that you're not allowing this, and by the way, Mr. Carlos's dad is coming home in 3 weeks, and if he doesn't have this done by then, we're going to sue you under the ADA," they would all of a sudden decided, you know what? Yeah, we're going to let that happen. It's okay. You guys can go ahead and do that.
Most times, if you threaten to countersue, like seriously countersue them, if they attempt something, they will back down. And that goes for multiple things, not just like HOAs.
I think they're looking to be challenged, right? And if no one's, they're hopeful that most people will just knuckle under and be like, "Oh, wait, my HOA says I can't do this, so we're not going to do it." But if you push back and you challenge them, and clearly you had a leg to stand on, right? So yeah, I think in most cases, if you can make an effective challenge back and push back enough to your HOA, they usually back off. So
I will admit that I'm in a fortunate position in that the attorney handling this for my parents is a very good friend of mine, and he had zero compulsion about going, "I got you, buddy. Don't even worry about it. This is not even going in the billables. This is just me having fun."
Well, by irony, like here in my subdivision, I think most people don't take it serious anymore, right? So I built this house about 11 years ago here in this subdivision. So when I first moved in, I was like abiding by the rules, and like the shack that I'm sitting in right now, I had to ask permission to put this in the backyard, and it had to meet certain criteria, and I asked permission. And then I look about 6 months later, maybe a year later, 2 houses down in his backyard, and he's got one that doesn't meet the criteria in any way, shape, or form, and no one's ever made him take it down. And then we did some hardscaping out in our front yard, and my neighbor across the street from me saw it, and he goes, "I like that. Who's the guy?" I gave him the number. He did it. And then a couple months later, he comes over and he goes, "Hey, will you sign this?" And I said, "What is this?" He goes, "Oh, I got a nasty gram from the HOA because I did this and didn't get permission to do it." And I said, "Yeah, I didn't get permission because I didn't ask." So they didn't even bother to check me. They just saw his and sent him a nasty gram. So they're so inconsistent in how they enforce their rules that it's laughable. To me, it's a joke. Like, just abolish the whole dang thing, or back off a little bit and quit being so moronic and actually just enforce the rules that make sense, right? Let's keep the guy from having multiple vehicles parked in his yard up on blocks, or whatever, anything that's unsightly that's bringing down the look of the neighborhood. But I and my neighbor literally did something that improved the appearance of our property, and he still got a nasty gram in the mail. So it's kind of silly.
Karens will be Karens.
I guess,
Hank says, and just again, not legal advice here. This law doesn't negate any CC&Rs on the deed. That's also something to consider, possibly.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. The interstellar to sell, but I can't sell right now, bud. The market's just not there.
Yeah. So I know Florida, you see this a lot down there. Everything is a deed restricted community. And I think they embed a lot of this stuff in their deeds to take it outside of the quote homeowners association. I don't know. They've been like that forever.
Yeah.
As far back as I can remember, you would see in every community outside, such the Springs, a deed restricted community.
We were looking at, and still are, we're looking at some property in the Panhandle of Florida, like just north of Pensacola. So basically LA, lower Alabama. And we looked, I reached out.
Did they go LA? Did they say LA? Like
no,
in LA,
son.
So Jimmy, when you said LA, I thought, oh, he means like Los Angeles of Florida.
Not
no,
LA.
I meant lower.
No, the real LA. So I'm originally from Florida. So we're looking at this property, and I'm looking at this place, and every lot is like 2 acres or bigger, which is great. And I reach out to him and I go, hey, do you guys have an HOA? And he goes, well, we do, because the state of Florida, the law in the state of Florida says if you're going to create a new subdivision, you have to. He goes, however, let me send you and he kind of chuckled, list of restrictions and let you see that it's not very restrictive. He goes, we have an HOA, because we have to, but we've made it so minor that this is what it is. So he sent me the stuff, and it's incredibly minor. I mean, they'll let you, it even calls out the things that you will be allowed to do. There are leaps and bounds different than you'd find anywhere else in the country. So, I mean, you could live on your lot for a year and a half in an RV while you build your house, and it states it in the HOA, bylaws. So it's really cool what they've done there. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's certainly better than what me and most others are dealing with in our HOAs.
I could certainly see almost a cottage industry of subdivisions doing this type of thing, especially if they're in an area where HOAs do not have a great reputation,
which is everywhere, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think most people hate them.
What's that?
Private chat. I sent you something that's time sensitive here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I again, when I moved in here, I wasn't a ham, so the ham radio type or the antenna restrictions that I'm under didn't impact me. So I didn't pay it any attention, and we're doing everything is fiber to the curb here, or fiber to the doorstep. So they're doing, we're doing streaming television and all that stuff, and it just didn't bother us. But since I become a ham and I want an antenna up, full disclosure, I have one up right now, but I got cool neighbors behind me and on either side, and they don't report me, and you can't see it from the front yard. So I don't know, F them.
Tim, just tell me yes or no, and I'm ready to send him the link.
Oh yeah, if you want to, go ahead. That's fine.
Done.
Yeah.
Brocam, you have a message.
I hope he's got a juicy story.
Better have a good story.
HOAs.
HOAs so thankfully my little HOA story, I don't live in an HOA, but I might as well. I have this one neighbor. I know exactly who it is, and I am not throwing shade here. Let me just get that straight. He is one of the American Legion guys with my dad, and every little thing we do, he complains about to the city. He doesn't go because we don't have an HOA. He can't go to the HOA president because he would be the HOA president, but he goes to the city, and about every 3 months we get a notice. Oh, you took an extra 5 minutes to get your, literally I've had this happen. You took an extra 5 minutes in the morning to get your garbage can up, or, oh, that antenna can be seen from the roadway in your backyard. No kidding. It's 30 feet in the air. Of course you're going to see it.
Yep. That's the issue. We need some good, solid legislation that kind of, and I get it. I'm not going to have an antenna farm, right? I mean, this is the most, and if you guys saw this, because none of you guys are from Texas, but if you came here and saw this, Texas is, we got all this land in Texas, and this is some of the smallest yards. And the houses are decent size, but my garage is tiny. Everybody in Texas drives a big truck, and you can't fit them in your damn garage. And your yard is a postage stamp. So it really is a little ironic that, it is what it is. But I'm not going to have
I thought everything was bigger in Texas.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So Just the egos, Carlos, just the egos. But
that sounds absolutely fair.
But I'm not going to have an antenna farm back here. I'm not going to have a 160-meter loop around the yard. I don't have the room for it.
See, I have
put
160
a tower
meter
and a hex beam is probably what I'd put up here, and that would be great. But I can't do that because that might offend somebody because either they don't know what the heck it is, or it might look unsightly to them. So
tell them you're helping NASA search for aliens.
There you go. Solved. Yeah, I go back to prove to me that I can't receive TV signals on it, and it's not a TV antenna.
I heard the best one the other day. Like, and what about SSTV?
Yeah, there we go.
Did you make that argument?
Yeah, Andrew, what's going on, buddy?
How's it going, guys?
Andrew, I'm hoping you have a juicy story of a HOA and an antenna.
Yeah, well, not particularly my antenna, but it's funny because it involves OTARD. I don't know if you guys know about that, but I did a video on that forever ago, and that was a whole hornet's nest in my comments once I did that. People tell me I'm wrong and stuff. So, my parents. We moved to this neighborhood that had an HOA. I think I was 15 or 16 at the time, and I want to say I'm not a huge fan of HOAs, but I will say I understand their place. I understand the reason for them, and then it's also depends on who you got on that board.
Yeah.
So if you live in an HOA and you're worried about it, the first thing I'm going to say is get involved in your HOA. That way you have some power, you have some say.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but
I agree.
But here's the thing, you have a 9 to 5 job, and then it takes an hour to get there, it takes an hour to get back, and then you still have to, deal with daily life and everything else. Who has time to deal with the HOA except the retired folks that are that are the bane of our existence? And I don't mean that in the worst pace possible. I'm like, I know plenty of retirees that are pretty cool, but the ones that are part of the HOA are the ones that are always trying to make me do their bidding, and it's just like read between the lines.
like my idiot down the street here, Carlos. I have the perfect answer to that though, and I just told Brian that in chat. Become club president. Sure, become the HOA club president, and then everything has to go by you in order to be finalized.
You know what?
I mean, you don't have to go that far. Just become a trustee.
But you still have to put time that you don't generally have. Like, look, I don't know about you guys, but my day is full between work and the things that I want to do. My day is full. Carving at an hour, just an hour, to deal with an HOA thing.
It's hard.
It's not in my list of things I want to do or that I am going to do. And thankfully, I don't live in an HOA, so I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff, right? There is a neighborhood busybody, and every time I go by her house, I tell her to read between the lines, and then I quite literally do. And she understands my animosity because she thinks she runs the neighborhood, and I got news for her: she doesn't. I don't care.
Why, Karen?
Well, this might be a cathartic story than my HOA story. So I went to my first HOA meeting in my parents' neighborhood, and they were discussing, the lady that was running it was discussing something benign like, oh, the color of somebody's fence or something like that. And so didn't have the approved color mailbox or something like that. And it was just funny because every motion she kept bringing up, I mean, the room was full of people from the neighborhood just saying like, it would go call for a vote. And then you just hear from the background, somebody go, we don't care. So, yes, that's great.
Yeah.
But no, like you're saying with the busybodies. So I don't live in an HOA, but I live in a community association. And I didn't even know it was here when I moved in. And to make sure it wasn't like that, like you said, I had to carve time out. It's impossible. I've got 2 kids under 3. I've got a full-time job. I do YouTube. I'm communications director for my community association. So I manage the Facebook page, but like you said, there's always the busybodies. There's always people in there saying like, oh, so-and-so's got an RV parked in his yard for, 3 weeks. And it's like, okay,
so
who cares? And it's a very nice RV.
Yeah.
It's not like it's on flats. Like,
mind your own business, Karen. Mind your own business.
Can you, what's the difference between a community association and a homeowners association?
So ours, I don't know like the legal definition, but ours is basically what we do is we collect a very small fee compared to like an HOA. Ours is
Mhm.
$20 a year, and we have a lake in our neighborhood that goes to pay for the lake. It goes to help us get flyers and stuff and newsletters that I also write and pass out. And it helps us throw things like block parties. Like we do a chili cook-off we're going to do this year. We do a turkey run for a turkey 5K for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So
How big's how many homes are in your neighborhood?
475, I think, last I checked, and they're building more on.
That's a good sized neighborhood then.
Yeah.
Well, so that's interesting because when I used to live in Indianapolis, we were in about the same thing, 450, 475 homes, somewhere in there. We had a homeowners association, and it was a train wreck. And going back to the people having time, the group that was in there, I don't know why, but they just kind of decided that, nobody's interested in doing this, so we're just going to stay on. They didn't hold elections. They didn't do these things. They decided that they were going to not get competitive bids on stuff, and that whatever they got, it had to be the 3 highest bids of any property. I mean, it wasn't they were pocketing money, but they wanted to have a mid-tier residential neighborhood like it was a high dollar neighborhood with the lawn mowing. We did have like 14 acres to maintain, plus a pool. But that right there started a revolution. We got into a year's legal battle to get them out, and then new people came in, and from that, the dues came back down and all this stuff. But that just soured me on ever wanting to be in another HOA.
So that's the other thing I should add real quick about our community association. We have no say over what you do with your house.
Yeah,
that I think is the most ridiculous part about HOAs. It's like, it's your property.
Yeah.
Like I understand, like, sort of. I understand the thing of not putting cars up on blocks in the yard and stuff, but there's also local ordinances that deal with that.
Yep.
My local township, they live stream all their meetings, and if you go and scrub through it real quick, 90% of it is, so and so has trash in the yard, so and so has grass that's 4.5 feet tall. They've got a car leaking oil on the street right in front. Like, there's local ordinances that deal with that. That's not an HOA.
Yeah.
So
Tim, I did a quick search here. According to Roman law, an HOA is a type of community association. While HOAs are community associations, not all community associations are HOAs. Community associations may offer services and governance for shared facilities or communal living arrangements, whereas HOAs focus on maintaining property values through architectural guidelines and common area upkeep, often requiring monthly dues from homeowners.
Okay, well, I mean, that sounds very much like what Andrew's got there. So, but now I'm kind of curious. You mentioned that a lot of this, the things that people are concerned about get dealt with at the local municipality level, and then Jimmy's saying down in whoever it was, Jimmy, would they create a new homeowners or create a new neighborhood? There has to be a homeowners association.
In Florida. Yeah, that's what
I'm starting to wonder is the state just advocating those responsibilities to a private organization so they don't have to deal with it?
Exactly.
Probably.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
The state or the local municipality is just like, let the HOAs deal with, the small stuff that they don't have the time or the inclination to deal with
or care about.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't want to hear about your trash cans and your grass being a quarter of
the
an inch
height of
too
your
tall.
grass, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
What if I'm a hay farmer?
Hey, more power to you, brother.
Yeah.
No, it's I think our HOA here is pretty well intended, but we do have restrictions. I can't have up an antenna unless it's made to receive television signals. So like a dish network or a DirecTV, but even that stuff's kind of gone away, right? Everyone streams.
Again, Jimmy, prove to me that it doesn't receive TV of some sort.
And that's my argument, right? I
Yeah.
can prove that it does receive television. So it's SSTV, but it's television.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's also ATV, amateur television, ATV.
Right. So
So
I guess I
when
could go there with them and get and fight that fight, right?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I read OTARD in its entirety when I made that video forever ago, so it's a little fuzzy, but it is basically like the antenna has to be legitimately for like receive only. Like you can't have it's not
Yeah.
supposed to be for any kind of transmit whatsoever, unless it's like I think like a communication for like Wi-Fi. I think is allowed
Mm-hmm.
under certain criteria, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a video on it forever ago.
I think you're hitting on it too, because I think that's similar. I don't have the language on of my restrictions committed to memory, but I seem to recall there was some language in there about, receive only capability, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So, but
I
I
mean-
think that's how they're getting around that. Like I could try to make the argument, but I think I'd probably lose, Frank. Which is exactly why things need to change, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's all.
Things need change, period, Jimmy. But, and I'll just leave it at this: you don't have to show them that it transmits, just that it receives TV.
That's right.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, again,
You
I can
know.
try and make the argument. I don't know that I want to. It kind of boils down to, do you want to put that much time and effort into it?
Yeah.
Right.
Old timey TV antennas outside were Yankees. So
That's true.
there you go.
Up
Yeah.
to 15 elements too. So
Yeah,
Lots of game.
lots of
Mhm.
game.
Right.
Well, so
A 15 element, 20 meter Yagi.
yeah.
yeah.
So the other thing that we found out, and I do want to point out, and Jimmy, if you can give their call signs really quick,
Yeah.
if you know that there was a pair of brothers
Yep.
here in Indiana in the Muncie area. Jimmy reached out or was in contact with the older brother, who I guess was involved, if I understand that correctly.
That's what it sounds like. So Campbell Reed is the older brother, KD9 Golf Echo Kilo, and he and his younger brother, I believe Connor Reed, KD9 Yankee Lima Quebec, were the ones that kind of helped get it passed there in Indiana. So, and Campbell reached out to me. He couldn't join tonight. He said his brother might be interested, but I haven't heard from him. So maybe not, or maybe he's in the chat. But that's, good for them. I mean, you got, a kind of a younger brother, older brother kind of thing work together to help get this thing passed. So good for them.
So what I am really excited about in not just the legislative stuff, the amateur radio, the whole 9 yards, is that one of those brothers is still a minor
Mm-hmm.
and
Hold
he's
on.
involved in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ham 9325. That's Hunter, and he says he can join.
Oh, it's Hunter. Sorry. Yeah. Hunter.
Well,
Yeah.
So
Jim,
Jimmy,
do you have their email?
I have, I don't have his, but I have I have Campbell's here. Hold on. So I'll send the, or Frank, if you can get him the link and he wants to
I
join.
have. You're the only one that has contact with them.
Yep.
And I'm not about to drop that link in public chat for
No.
everybody. to
No.
join.
Let
Do
me-
that all over.
Right?
We see what happens on the clubhouse when people come in with that
Hey,
backdoor
hey.
key.
Hey, I pick my way in, pal. I'm Puerto Rican. I know how to pick locks. While we wait on that, I mean, it wasn't until 2018 that Indiana allowed alcohol sales on Sunday. Okay.
Mhm.
So to see that the state of Indiana, the legislature in Indiana, has somehow managed to pass, and then the governor signed a law that is relatively short, 8 pages, including the sign page, and then it addresses specifically nothing but HOAs. It has nothing else to do with anything else. It's pretty amazing to see, at least for me. I've lived here for a while. I haven't seen but a handful of times when the legislature actually did something worthwhile.
I agree. I mean, state government, federal government, it's a whole different ballpark. I mean, everybody in the state government has to deal with the people that they represent, right? It's a little bit different. My state senator, actually, who's the president pro tem of, or at least he was, of the Indiana Senate, has an office right here, his actual personal business office right here on the square in town. He sees people every day, so they have to deal with things a little bit more up close and personal than our national representatives, who are pretty isolated from the people, other than the, maybe the 22,000 phone calls that they might get. Oh, looks like we have some guests here. Yeah.
It's
there we go.
The people that,
Hey, look at
it's the
there.
people that pay their graft.
Yeah.
That's who they deal with.
So Hunter and Campbell, who's Hunter?
That would be me.
Hunter, how you doing? My name is Tim.
Nice to meet you. I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing great. Now, I understand you were pretty instrumental in getting this written, and was it Representative Alexander?
Senator Alexander.
Senator Alexander. Okay. Well, awesome. What? And actually, Campbell, I'm assuming.
Yeah, my name's Campbell.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining.
Yeah, thanks.
Hunter, what got you interested in doing this?
Well, so I saw the efforts at the national level, and so what I was like, well, let's try and get this thing done in Indiana. And I happened to already know Senator Alexander, and so I just met with him a couple of times, and he was actually interested in filing this as a normal piece of legislation, but he wasn't able to do that because he filed too many bills this session. However, he became interested in wanting to add it to a bill, and I was like, well, how about we add it to 152? And he was like, yeah, I think that sounds like a great idea.
Awesome. Now, are you involved in other legislative efforts, or was this kind of the first?
This was the first, but I met him at the State House before.
Awesome. Now, are you doing other kind of legislative stuff then, or a page, or
I have served as a page before.
Have you? Okay.
Awesome.
Good deal. So, are you? Oh, I'm sorry, Carlos, go ahead.
Just curiosity. Did the experience being a page help you understand how the wheels turn and how to engage your senator in order to try to get this done? Did that help?
It definitely helped a little bit, because what it did was it gave me an understanding of how legislative stuff is done. And I've also watched a lot of committee hearings, so I kind of became familiar with the rules of the General Assembly. So it made doing this a lot easier.
Okay.
That's great. That is awesome, guys. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys coming. I mean, this is not my show. This is Tim's show. And so, I, for one, definitely really appreciate you guys coming on. And thank you, Campbell, for reaching out to me.
You're welcome.
No, absolutely. So Jimmy, as you guys saw, posted that video, and I caught it yesterday, and I'm like, well, because I live in Indiana, I am down towards Bloomington, and I was surprised because I didn't even know this was on the radar. And so that I am very happy. I don't know if you guys were catching part of the show. I do not live in a homeowners association, but that's always prevented me from wanting to move where I'm at. Now that I'm involved with amateur radio, I have neighbors. I have antennas in my backyard, but they're modest. They're not giant towers and stuff like that. One thing it kind of to go along with Carlos's question, I noticed the wording was very straightforward, 4 sections, not a whole lot of complexity to it. Is that something that you think was instrumental in helping that to get passed, or?
So I would definitely say it was instrumental in helping to get it passed. I also wanted it to be more along that lines that way, because I didn't want it to be super legally complex.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense. So tell us a little bit about you guys. How long have you guys been in amateur radio? And
So Campbell's been in it for how long now?
I've been an amateur radio operator since 2016.
Okay.
And I was in middle school at the time. And actually became a part of our local amateur radio club here in Muncie, where I now am president. And then, Hunter, when did you become a ham?
I think it was about 4 years ago. That sounds about right. No, it was right before my 7th grade year, and I got technician, general, and extra class all before, I believe, age 14. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Wow.
and that was
Wow.
all in the same summer, entering into my 7th grade year. No, 8th grade. Yeah, it would have been 7th grade year.
That's impressive, man.
Man.
That is really awesome.
Nice.
Solid, dude.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, that's awesome.
So did you, besides Campbell being an amateur radio operator, was there anybody else in your family, or did you have other mentors or neighbors that you had exposure to this, or was this just something that was kind of seemed cool and I'd get interested in?
It just seemed cool. Campbell helped me get interested in it. He had been interested in it because he really liked listening to the police, fire, and EMS. And I found it kind of cool, and so I got involved.
Well, it is cool. That is- So
Very
you guys, so just curious, do you guys live in an HOA, or you just wanted to advocate for those who did?
We just wanted to advocate for those who did.
Man, that's amazing. Golly, we need more guys like you.
That's
Whether you're in the hobby
amazing.
or not, we need more guys like you really working for other people. That's amazing.
That's amazing, dude.
Yep. 100%.
You know, the other thing is, as you progress in life and, once you're done with high school and whatever else you might have after, sooner or later, you're probably going to end up buying a house. And this law now allows you to have a house where you can possibly have an antenna and, enjoy the hobby like the rest of us and not be limited. So, hopefully future you gets to capitalize on your efforts, right? But even if you don't, I'm not in an HOA, but I thank you guys for spiriting this forward because it's going to help all amateurs in the state.
Absolutely. I think it'll help amateurs in other states as well, because I said earlier, I think other states will take notice of this, especially once, hams in those states start pointing it out that, hey, Indiana did this. We can do it here in our state too. Whatever state that is, doesn't matter. So that is amazing. That's really, really cool, guys.
Now, Hunter, I got a question for you only because I saw a comment in the chat here. What do you want to do after you graduate? What's the long-term plan for you?
I want to be a lawyer.
Good for you.
All right. Well, you got a good start.
You certainly do.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Good answer, because Interstellar Starman said, "I smell a lawyer in the making."
There you go.
That's why I had to ask.
He called you guys ham radio activists too, and I love that. That's a
Yeah.
really
He
cool
did.
title. Yep. That's cool. Thank you guys. This is amazing. Like again, I think we pointed out it may not be a perfect, bill, but what bill is, right? But this bill gets it started, right? And it's because of the hard work that you put in, Hunter and Campbell. You guys did a great job. Awesome.
Thank you.
Really, really
Awesome.
cool.
Well, while we got you here, what else do you find interesting in the amateur radio community?
Mainly the legal stuff I found kind of cool. I've also kind of found some of the digital modes and definitely HF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys started doing POTA or SOTA or any of the outdoor?
Our club has done one POTA activation, and we used to go down to Tennessee every year for Pickett State Park. We tried to do a POTA activation, but the band just were not great when we were down there.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that happens sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
Do you have a
go
rig
ahead.
do you have a rig that you can take to the park with you, or are you limited to a home rig?
We have a rig that we're able to take down with
Cool.
us.
Really cool.
I mean, from Kokomo to the Mississippi Reservoir ain't too far, and the Mississippi Reservoir has 5 parks on it.
Wow.
So
We'll have to try to do that sometime.
Yeah. So what's the rig? What rig do you have?
So Hunter's is, I do remember the exact model. It's an older Yaesu rig from the 80s.
Cool.
I don't remember the exact model number, but my station that I have upstairs is an old Kenwood TS140.
Is that the pictures you have on QRZ?
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like it. Awesome, guys. That's cool. Man. You make me feel like I'm not doing enough. But you know what? I appreciate you guys picking up the slack 100%.
Yeah.
So my slack. I don't know about anybody else's, but
There you go, Jimmy. Pick up my slack, darn it.
Pick up my slack, please.
Yeah.
Please. I need it. I'm an old guy.
Yeah. Have you you mentioned digital modes? Any particular one have you tried or?
I haven't really tried with any. I just think they're kind of cool in general.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of P25 and then DMR. I've been playing around with that a little bit. I've actually picked up a couple of older Motorola's to play around with.
Oh God,
Frank,
now
I'm gonna mute you, Frank.
Yes, yes.
Frank is the Motorola fanboy.
Yeah, I think Frank has a Motorola emblem tattooed on his arm or something. He likes Motorola so much.
Oh, you know what? Frank was standing up, and for a minute, I thought he was going to show us a Motorola tat on his back. I was just like, please, no, don't do that.
Oh, here he goes. Here he goes.
Nice flexing.
These are just the first three I can. These are just the first three I can grab right away here in the studio.
He's got his Motorola's named like children. So
they're in his will.
No,
they all have names.
They might be. They might be, Jeff. They might be.
Yeah.
Man.
Wow.
Holy cow.
He has a portion of his will dedicated to the Motorola's. Their future care and love for the next owner after he passes.
Right.
Did you will those to Shane, by the way? Do you and Shane have a mutual?
No. Shane wills his to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Do you and Shane have a mutual Motorola agreement, a custody agreement, where you guys will, if one passes away before the other, that the other one will take on the Motorola's and care and feed them?
You know, no. But now that you mention it, Tim, I should ask him about.
That's a great idea.
Shane is supposed to help me buy my first moto at Hamvention this year, so we'll see.
Mm. So speaking of Hamvention, you guys being in Muncie, you're not
7,000.
Yeah, being in Muncie, you guys are not that far away from Dayton and now Xenia. Any thoughts about going over to Hamvention?
Yeah, we actually plan on going again this year. We've been going, I believe, for the last 3 years.
Oh wow, awesome!
Yeah,
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. There's a whole group of us that will be there, and oddly enough, being here in the Indianapolis area for 10, 12 years, I never went. It was always, I have work. It's a Thursday, Friday, finding somebody to go over there with. It was always a pain. And then one year I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go. And I took the time off. I got a Airbnb close by, and I just went and stayed and had fun and started meeting a bunch of people. And I've been there every year since. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It is.
Jason is not wrong.
Yes, Cyber Jason. Yes, Cyber Jason. We will tell you.
Yeah.
Just like all the ICOM fanboys will tell you that Yesu's wrong, and just like the Yesu fanboys will tell you ICOM's wrong when they forget that Kenwood's still an option too.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Kenwood still makes radios?
Do they?
That was my question.
I didn't say they still make radios. I just said they were an option.
I went to R&L today, and I saw a bunch of Kenwoods behind the counter. I was like, oh my gosh.
Look at
You
these.
live close enough to R&L that you can do that? I hate you right now. Roger's a really good guy.
So I got a question for y'all. Have you blasted Carlos out of the sky yet on HF?
No.
You guys know that Carlos jumps out of perfectly good airplanes and then plays radio on the way down, right?
I did not know that. No.
He does do that. So check his channel out from time to time, and then at the big ham
Square
fest,
right
he'll
there.
jump.
He jumps.
Don't be
jumps
modest,
out of-
Carlos. Don't be modest.
I mean, this is not my show, so.
Yeah.
But look,
I'm sorry. He'll filibuster the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Over here is like,
listen. I am a member of the clubhouse.
I think we all are.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
But I was voted in. I don't know about you. Well, I think Tim was voted in.
Yeah, I was voted
Jim,
in.
were you voted in?
I was.
Yeah.
I was.
I was too.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the
So,
250th episode.
as a member of the clubhouse, I'm allowed to do that. You know, this is the kids' tables, a different story, right?
Yeah.
But I'll be with weather permitting. Okay, I have to say this ahead of time because people. I actually have a video addressing a lot of the questions that I get coming up, and I'm going to publish it the week before Hamvention. But weather permitting, I'll be making jumps nearby at near Xenia, and I'll be calling CQ on a 2-meter frequency and try to work the pile up. So there you go.
I got you
So-
on the way home from
so
Hamvention last year, and my
Yeah.
son was in the back screaming at me like, "Who are you talking to?"
A guy in a parachute,
So, Carlos,
Yeah.
Some lunatic that jumped out of an airplane.
right?
someone in your chat, Carlos, is saying, "Come on, brag about it."
You know what?
Has your last name, so
That's of course that would be my mother. If everybody
Oh, there you go.
say hi to my
Aw.
I
mother.
should brag about it then tomorrow.
You know, she likes to brag about me. You know, I don't know why.
She's biased.
Well, I think it's because I get to choose her retirement home.
That's right.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow. Ouch. Harsh.
Man. So,
I love that lady. She's so awesome.
so
hello,
yeah,
Mama Carlos.
yeah. Hunter Campbell. So it's Dayton. Find one of us because when Carlos jumps, there's usually a line. We have one guy that hangs out with us that does a lot of satellite
points.
communications, and he points his
He points the Yagi with 50 watts and 15 dB of gain at me.
yeah.
I feel warm every time he works me.
The point is that he pretty much he'll have a line of people to work Carlos, and he'll typically win out that conversation
Yep.
because it does get pretty
Boy, it
pretty
gets
hard.
intense, man.
It's a pile up coming down. You know, because
Unless you're Chuck.
Chuck
then
has
all bets are off.
yeah. Chuck and Joe Brett both have that voice that just cuts through everything.
Wow.
You know, the only thing that beats Chuck's and Brett's voice is a YL. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That pitch is different. It catches your ear.
How
35 YBY.
what's your actual operating time when you're coming down from the time you get the radio out? And I know it's easier when you're doing like 2 meter, but from the time you get
So-
out before you have to pack it up so you can do a safe landing.
So figure I'm burning 1,000 foot a minute.
Okay.
And if I get out at 10,000, I might have the drop zone that's near near Xenia takes me to 10,000. They don't take me to 14 like my home drop zone does. So figure it takes me about 1,000 feet to deploy the parachute and get everything ready. And then I stop all work at 3,000 feet, right? So that leaves me with about 8 minutes to, if that. So I call it 7 minutes to work.
Mhm.
So not a whole lot of time, but there's a whole lot of pileups that you can make happen in a minute if you're working it.
Yep.
Well,
What are we missing
Carlos.
here?
Someone probably said, are you going to jump out of an airplane with your son? And my mother has very, very emphatically said since day one, not a chance in hell. So, and she's, obviously we're Puerto Rican, so she's like, you'd have to send me to Cuba. And she doesn't want to go to Cuba.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of looked like she was implying that you were threatening to set her up in a retirement village in Cuba. And I was like, now that is mean.
No, I wouldn't do that to her. I mean, I would, at the very least, I'd put her in some slum in Miami.
Okay.
You're killing me, man.
Tim, 40
Yes, sir.
seconds. 40 seconds.
Oh, golly. It is. Well, guys,
All right.
we have
He hasn't
Ham
been
Nation.
watching private chat, Jeff.
Yeah, well, Ham Nation is on tonight, so we are going to cut it short. Hunter Campbell, thank you guys very much for coming on. Appreciate all the hard work that
guys are awesome.
you've been doing, and hopefully this helps in getting some national legislation ultimately that will help everybody across the United States. So
Amen to
once
that.
again, guys, thank you very much.
My mother says I have no shame. She's
Yeah,
right. I don't.
So-
I learned it from her.
Thursday night we've got the videos. Yeah, Carlos, dang you.
Here, Tim,
Thursday
I'll
night
do it.
premiere review.
Tim,
We've
I'll
got.
do it for you.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Thursday night premieres me. Friday, me and Robin over at Digital Rancher. Saturday, we have Josh. Sunday, we have Tim out in the park, Ham Church, and then the Sunday afternoon, guys. And then new week starts.
And I think
There you
Thursday
go.
night also is Ham Shack TV too. So plenty of ham radio content out there.
Yes, we have.
Make sure you check it out. Support all the various creators. Stop by everybody's channel if you haven't subscribed already. Appreciate it. And thank you guys very much for spending the evening with us.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
73.
73.
73.
73.
73, everybody.